Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Kryptonite Show. Your host Superman in the house, and man, we're gonna have a great show today. You can see the topics are very different to normal, so we're gonna be shaking things up today. But we got some really cool news for those that are out there that are in this sort of space. We're gonna be obviously covering Bitcoin. We're gonna be covering Zen. We haven't covered that for a long time, and of course X1 chain. When is it going to launch? Of course, the vampire himself, Jack Levin. We're going to talk about that. We got an expected launch date for X1. We have had them before, but I think this one's probably most likely, given the far development in the chain. So we're going to get into that. We're also going to talk about TitanX. Is it really starting to rock and roll? Obviously, ETH is on the move. With Torus has just come out. It is helping probably push it up. So we're going to look at Torus results. We're obviously going to get into PulseChain. Is it how much longer to accumulate? We talked about this yesterday with the whales, but we're going to get into all that and break down the PulseChain markets. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. It's going to be pretty fulsome for sure. Pretty fulsome, I should say. I'm pretty excited about that. So let's get ready to roll. Get in the chat there. Let us know what you guys are thinking. But we're going to start off with the economic calendar, actually. So yeah, economic calendar first. That's what we're going to get into before we get into the show. We got Q Baller in the house there. I'm going to forget your name, Craig, eventually. Morning, all. Good to see you, Craig. Q Baller, aka Q Baller. We got Brian in the house there. Q-hoo! Go, Brian. Big shout out, Brian, and Hedgehog as well. Great to see both of you in the chat there. And of course, if you haven't shared the show on X, definitely share the show. It just takes 1 second to hit the repost on X, and of course on YouTube. Hit the share button and share the channel around. Now, if you're new to the channels, don't forget to smash the subscribe button or hit the follow button and get into that. And of course, yesterday it was really exciting. Hit over 900 followers. So on the move to 1,000 followers on X. As you guys know, I'm rebuilding over there since my other channel got pulled down. So let's go. Now, if you guys want to join Strategy Club, highly recommend it. The link is in the video description. It is only $35 a month. And join up today. You're going to get monthly reports. You're going to get a top 10 index. You're going to get all the latest intel pushed into there. And of course, you're going to get strategy chats and much more. So jump into the Strategy Chat Club. Only $35 a month. Fantastic value out there. Some other people are charging thousands for way less value. So get in there. We got Blair in the house there. Hi, all. Good to see you, Blair. Big shout out. We got TJ in the house. Bear Market Superman will be switched out for Rockets looking Superman when we get our well-deserved pumps. Absolutely, TJ. You're onto it. Calendars are cool, says Hedgehog. Yeah, we're going to start off with the economic calendar for this week. Wookie's in the house there. Let's go. The Wires, time to rock and roll. The NRL, your rugby league. Yeah, looks like the Warriors did win their game yesterday. Apparently got an easy game next week, and let's see how they go. It's going to be the grand final, though, Wookie. I don't know when that's coming, but it's the mental game. The mental game. We'll hope for the best, though. We'll hope for the best for that. All right. Without further ado, let's get into the show. And of course, we're going to jump away there. So yeah, just hit 900. Thanks very much for all the supporters over here on X. Definitely get the smash it out and repost. Really cool. Get on that. I'm just having a look back down here to see what else has been going on. We've been pushing out Solid Trader. That's from Solid X. So if you haven't joined to that, you can follow the link and use the trading bot on Telegram for PulseChain. So that'd be really cool. But without further ado, let's get into the economic calendar. And here we are, and we've got the dates coming up for this week. So this is Tuesday, US time, the 15th of July. We've got CPI. I cannot say how important this is. The Consumer Price Index, one of the two measures of inflation. And so, yeah, we're looking forward to this. Obviously, if this stays low, then even more pressure on Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates. They are playing politics. And so we will see. We know there's a lot of pressure on Jerome Powell also to resign. And so, yeah, and also there's a free vacant position coming up in one of the federal presidents in January next year. So let's see what happens here. Obviously, we need to get the interest rates down. We've got $9 trillion, can you believe it, of the $37 trillion of debt needs to be refinanced this year. So $9 trillion. And so the rates are very high, right? 4.5%. All the other central banks have been lowering their rates, but Jerome Powell playing politics is holding up at 4.5%. Seems ridiculous. Inflation all the way down at about 2.4, 2.5%. So this is going to be very critical. Probably more importantly, this could be the ultimate trigger for altcoin season. And I didn't say it could be. I think it just is because once you lower rates down to 2.5%, there's so much low return in safe investments that you have to take a lot of risk on. And so therefore you have to go to stocks and crypto, right, and commodities to get the high risk. And so all that money will flush back into risky assets, and that's what we want to see. The other side of course, we see record M2 monetary supplies. So it's basically M2's like liquid money, pretty much. Anything that can be liquidized. And so that's growing at record levels. And so the combination could be absolutely explosive, right? And of course, we saw the one big bill, and that eventually lead into, of course, bigger discretionary incomes and more investment. Part of that discretionary will go into investments. So it all goes together. So very, very cool. All right, so that's kind of where we are with the CPI on Tuesday. Big deal. We got the PPI. So this is the wholesale. Think of it, the gate prices. The wholesale, like manufacturing. That's the PPI, Producers Price Index. That's coming out on Wednesday, July the 16th. And then we've got Thursday, we've got a little bit of extra stuff like core retail sales, initial jobs claims. So that will talk about the employment side of things. Obviously, that's important because the Federal Reserve has a dual mandate, right? Inflation and employment. And so that will be playing into that also. The retail sales will essentially be into, and the manufacturing index into the health of the economy, how robust it is holding up. So we'll keep a lookout for that on Thursday. So that's our economic data coming up, but that inflation number particularly of interest, especially for us in crypto. All right, let's jump over to the crypto prices. Mad gains. Let's go to the, I don't know, I'm going to go to my next frame, but I think I'm not here, so I'll have to make myself appear. Just one moment. A bit like SJ Wild, right? Make myself appear. And I appeared. I appeared. All right, so cool. We got the price here. I could do that without the drama, but hey, this is the way it goes. We got market cap. Sorry, I should say is 3.779 trillion. So we'll just round at the 3.8 trillion. It is down 2.2%, but that's because it's based on 17,656 tokens. Bitcoin at the moment is at 118,746, holding up really well. Holding up really well at 1.4%. It is a lazy Sunday in the US, which typically will either be, a sell down or flat, and occasionally could be a front runner for the week ahead, right? We have got earnings seasons coming up this week too, right? Not just the economic data. We've got earnings season coming up, so it's going to be cause all sorts of interesting things too. Number two, we got Ethereum up 1.1% at $2,965. XRP, which flipped Tether, right? That's at number three, up 3.7% at $2.83. BNB at number 5 is at 1%, $691. Solana up 0.2% at $160. We got number 8, Doge, up 0.7% at 19.8 cents. And then Tron at number 9, up 0.2% at 30 cents. And then Lidos, I think, number 10. So those are our top 10. And of course, we've got Cardano and Hyperliquid just below that. And of course, Hyperliquid's been performing very well, hasn't it? So the best performer over the last 24 hours has been XRP, up 3.6%. And of course, Bitcoin, the best performer over the week has been also XRP, up 24.7%, followed closely, I guess, by Ethereum, up 14.8%, and Doge up 14.4% out of the top 10. Looking at the top 100, let's have a look what's going on there. Well, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. We've got meme coin, which we've been looking at as one of the top coins. This has now hit the top 100 and is sitting at number 100. So meme core, we've been looking at this occasionally through, I think, the previous week because it's been rallying, particularly yesterday. It's up 80% for the week. It's sitting at up 8%, and meme core is hitting the top 100. The current rate, the valuation is at 1 billion, so we'll face some resistance there. But this also means that if it can continue its ride into the bull market, this could re-rate multiple X's, right? So this is the ones you want to get the good meme coins at the top of the 100 index, maybe even the top 150, and see how those ride up relative X's up through to the moon, right? So that is pretty interesting. Stellar is up at 14.7. Up 90%. That's sitting at number 14. And of course, that's got a $14.8 billion market cap. So Stellar making some pretty strong gains. Pudgy, I'm not sure if there's any particular news around Stellar, but that is up. And Pudgy Penguins, another meme coin, up 84%, up 27% there as well. At number 3, Hydra Bar or H Bar and Allegrand following behind 50% and 47% respectively. And they're all sitting, 67, 19, 52 on the move there. So that is kind of the plays at the moment. So a bit of a mix of projects in there. All right, so looking at the top 1,000, we've got Innovation Game up 80%, and we've got Altcoin up 52%, and No Sausage, which we've seen before, that's up 38% as well. Let's have a quick look at Innovation Game. That's sitting at number 971. The chart's a little rough there, but it's been around since October last year, and recently has started to make a bit of a move. It's just climbed from 74 cents up to $1.34. And the Innovation Game is the network for algorithmic breakthroughs. Redefines the frontier of computational research by transforming proof of work into a global engine for open autonomous innovation. Looks like, is that base chain? Not sure, but let's have a quick look at the website. TIG Foundation, the network for algorithmic breakthroughs. So it's got a cool little website, so some players and challenges. Let's look at the players. Become a benchmark, so you can check this out. We're just like having a quick little tease on that. It's got cool little animations. So that is the Innovation Game. What else? Let's have a look at the other one. We're going to go back to the homepage. Then we've got Altcoin as well. That is also top gainers, 51%, and it's sitting at number 340. And that's been around since the 9th of July, and it has been on a tear ever since. So this is Altcoin, and it's rallied quite nicely. So it was started off at 1.8 cents, is now at 17 cents. So this is on fire right now. And let's have a quick look there. It's on Solana chain and altcoin.fun. So we have a quick look at this. We have looked at this before, haven't we? So this is on the move. You can check that out. Altcoin looks like we've got lots of coins in there. So that's kind of cool, doing well. Let's go back again. And we're going to go have a look at No Sausage, which we have seen before, sitting at number 726. It looks like it's come off the bottom here. It's been around how long? Since 30th of April this year, so only a few months. Looks like it's come off the bottom at 1 cent. It's now at 5.5 cents. It is on what chain? It's on Solana as well. And of course, it's a unique online presence that embodies playful, humorous side of the internet culture. So you can check that out. It's got a club site. Nobody can beat a nobody. So that is on the move as well. Bit of a meme from the looks of it. So there we go. Check that out. Those are some of the top coins. Now, in terms of trending, we've got Salsa Swap, Bertram, the Pomerand, I guess, and then we've got Ton Coin there from Telegram there. So that's an overview of the markets. So yeah, $3.8 trillion market cap, down 2.1%, but Bitcoin holding super strong. Look at that, even higher now, up at 119,000. So looking really good there is the old Bitcoin for sure. Who else have got jumped in here? We've got a couple more comments. Let me just go back up the top here. Bitfinex, pump your blood, pump your layer one, pump your lady, pump your coins. Bitfinex is wisdom of the day. We got Hex OG in the house. Absolutely. Frank White, bang, bang. Pulse Gang, good to see you, Frank White. We got Pulse Famon as well. Keep cooking and keep providing value to the network. A big shout out there for Formon. We got DGN in the house there. Hey, family, good to see you, DGN. Welcome to the chat there. What's that? X1, 2 more weeks, lol, says DGN here. We're going to talk about the time frame for that, but yeah, that is the part of the fun there for sure. It's funny you say that, DGN. We'll talk about why that's funny. Whatever happened to that liquid staking Project Pi? I think it was called on PulseChain. Pi on PulseChain. Liquid staking. Project Pi. Not sure. There's Pi Network. Liquid staking. Yeah, I'm not sure. There's quite a few projects that do pulse staking, like Validator, like you can become a validator through that, or NFTs. There's lots of other projects that do like staking, so I'm not quite sure. When X1 launch, says Doug, well, coming up soon for that. We're going to be talking about that very shortly. FOF Mon has liquid staking, earn more NFTs for holding. That is from Pulse 404. And of course, that's a 404 contract. All right, let's jump into it. Let's get into Bitcoin. And at the moment, Bitcoin, of course, moving higher. And yeah, look at this. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Look at that, man. We're up at record levels. Yesterday, we got up to 119,500. Today, we're sitting at 119,168. So looking very good is the old Bitcoin. And we've got earnings season this week, inflation, like we say, and on Tuesday. So bring it on, bring it on. And then, of course, we've got what else is coming up this week? Not only earnings season for stocks, but we've also got crypto week, right? The Genius Act with stablecoins. One of the pillars of our bull market is coming up this week with the stablecoins. Potentially $2 trillion here, Scott Bessent for backing, and of course that will typically go through Circle and Tether, and of course we could see massive leverage on that, right? So at the moment, I think we've got about 260 to 300 million in stablecoins. We'll imagine going up to 2 trillion. Or 3.2 trillion by 2030. There's some of the numbers out there. It's absolutely crazy amount of leverage it's going to have, right? That's just one of the pillars of the bull market. We've got so many bullish things coming to support the re-rate of all crypto. So we might be 3.8 trillion now. We could very, very quickly re-rate to, what are we, 3? So, heading towards gold market. So what, 22, 20, 23 trillion, somewhere in that ballpark. Could happen much faster than people anticipate. So very excited about that. So here we are looking pretty good in the old crypto market. We've got the 50-day at the moment at 50-day at 107,800. We've got the 200-day at 96,900. So the 200-day slowly creeping towards the 100K mark. And just remember that when we get up into the $100,000 zone, we can start moving at much bigger numbers, like 10,000 in a day. So just as we re-rate that value, it can move around a lot more volatile with the ranges there and larger ranges. So that's kind of cool. And like I say, that's the news coming up. Stablecoin week ahead. Let's see how it all plays out. Lots of bullish stuff coming. All right, so let's go have a look at Ethereum, because Ethereum, of course, went into the golden cross. And we're going to quickly look at that. I've got to keep track of time today. I have to be very efficient with my time today. We got $2,979. So we're still trying to resistance at 3,000. But this is playing out very, very well. And of course, that was the green expectation that we had. And this is playing out pretty much. So our PulseChain strategic reserve is up here, $3,775. So we're not too far away from that. Just waiting for that next push higher. And it's going to be pretty aggressive. And, only 27% to go to get back to recovering our 645 million, one of those two. So yeah, we're just about there. Our golden cross, look at that, beautiful thing. And we're also crossing over above it too. So this is going to be severely strong, I think, a re-rate on Ethereum. What's the big narrative of Ethereum? Of course, institutions are already coming in to buy up Ethereum, and we sort of already see Chairman Mike Lee, of course, one of the top market analysts out there already raising capital to go into Ethereum because they know that the Genius Act, which is coming this week, is going to flood stablecoins, and that will primarily go through Tether and Circle, and of course Ethereum will benefit, right? So that is the big catalyst there, pushing things ahead. Less so the smart contract domination, which is obviously waned over to the VC chains, the second layer chains on top of Ethereum. So yeah, things are changing in that area. So big cool things happening here. All right, now should we get into X1? Let's do it. We had Doug when X1 launched. Let's talk about that. So we might go back to our other view here for that and get into the old Zen X1, right? So we did have this breaking news from Mike Barty, and this was off the Pump Fund had their big pre-sale discussion. They had 63,000 people tuned into that for Pump Fund. Obviously, there's a lot of drama about the contracts, I think, for Pump Fund. But we're not going to get into that. We're just going to get into the X space. Jack Levin, of course, the founder of Zen, and all associated tokens to that, and of course X1. Also related to obviously the validators and Zen blocks, Soul Zen, all the rest of the tokens, and proof of stake, proof of work, all that good stuff. That he was in the end of the chat and had quite a bit of the mic time. And of course, at around about 2 hours and 5 minutes in, he talked about the fact that X1 was going to launch either September or November 2025. And it's funny that he actually said something, because he was not saying anything really to the Zen community or those following X1. But when he gets in with the big boys, let's say, in Pump Fun, then he tells all. He tells all. So there we go. That's just the way things go sometimes, isn't it? And so, yeah, either September. September is the primary date that he's looking to launch. But if they can't make it for that, they're going to make it November, because Jack Levin knows the bull market's on, right? He knows the bull market's on. He's got to get out there while the capital's in there. Of course, another interesting thing that Jack Levin said during the live stream, during this X Space, was that he expects the bull market to run all the way through to at least the last year. So I would say at the beginning of the last year of the Trump era in his presidency. So that would be probably the beginning of that year, and that's something that I've thought of too. So there we go. That may be the peak price period even on X1 as well. So yeah, we're expecting that to play out. Obviously, our expectations are that X1 will launch his VC capital raise he's doing at the moment, which I think's raised $4 million or so. And a good chunk of that's going to his team's costs. I think there's about 4 or 5 of them. And of course, that means that they're recovering their costs over the last couple of years. And they're probably going to end up at least taking, I don't know, 60% of that. They have bought some Bitcoin with that as well, ironically, as a store of value. So there we go. But they're targeting maybe a minimum of $1 billion market cap. And of course, they're hoping for much higher than that, in the tens of billions, no doubt, at least 10 billion. And that was where the money is made, right? So we're going to keep a lookout for that. But that is X1. And of course, once the chain launches, then he can, because he's also registered with the SEC, is that he can then do an issuance for the Zen. So that Zen's out there. Zen's obviously been inflating and selling down to all-time lows. And so that is our understanding at the moment, based on his comments in the past, is that Zen will actually, there will be burn parties and stuff like that, but the allocation won't be what it used to be, right? Remember these allocations of 300 million, 300 million, 300 million, 100 million. That was 1 billion XN tokens. Well, now it's called XNT now, right? So a bit of rebranding. So we do have a few changes there. We also know that validators that are testing at the moment are going to get bonus multipliers for their staking of XNT as the block reward. We've got all these different changes happening. So we'll have to wait for the final thing, but we are expecting Zen still to be burnable in the burn parties after the X1 chain launches for XNT coin, and of course, presumably a lot of people were staking that. There also is the IGEN layer, right? So in other words, people can stake like on Solana, for example, their tokens and benefit with XNT coin, and that hopefully bring a lot of people over to X1 chain. That's kind of the play there. Now, it will be the first really full-packed fork of Solana with all the improvements, bells and whistles that Jack Levin and Sun Tzu and the rest of the team have done to the chain. And it seems to be operating pretty incredibly so far with transactions per second, etc. But it's really the DeFi layers and the blockchain rewards and the DEX. Of course, there's an XDEX, I think it's called, or Zendex. I think it's called XDEX now. That's also being tested as well. So that's, I think, a third-party team, and that's going to be ready to go also. So, yeah, we're going to see. It's going to be a lot of fun. I do expect it to do well as a superior version of Solana. Yeah, we're going to see how that flies in the bull market. You can't ask for better, right? This is crypto. So despite all of the I think valid concerns that people have, hopefully it all ends up washing out and well in the bull market there. So I will keep an open mind at this stage. So that is from Mike Barty. So that is the link to that. Now I'll post the link to that in the chat there if you guys want to hear it for yourself. But that is my summary there. Let me have a look. X1. And it's got the timestamp 2 hours and 5 minutes in, so you can check that out. So that is going to be probably a pretty big opportunity for some people. So bam. All right. Now that is that one. Let's jump over into TitanX. Shall we do that? And we'll go full screen on this maybe. Yeah, we'll leave it at the small screen at the moment, but we've got TitanX. Actually, we might go to big screen. Let's go to big screen. I just didn't know where it was going to be there. So this is ZenX, TitanXHub.com. And we've got TitanX at the moment starting to get a little bit of green. We've got Ethereum obviously doing well. trying to break through 3,000, and the TitanX is probably going to start getting some more interest in it, right? So we're going to check out the chart briefly on TitanX, and we're going to look at the US dollar and the ETH ratio. So it just defaults at 15 minutes. We're going to have a look at the chart. So we've got some nice little W's in the chart. So they're kind of sort of bullish looking. So that's kind of cool. Let's log this. I haven't got it on log, so let's log that. So that is the chart there for TitanX on US dollar terms. So you can see we have come off the bottom at 6 euros 11.50. Obviously, ETH has been rallying back up. And yeah, so we are getting back up there. So we were down at 1100, 6 euros 1100. We're now at 6 euros 2000. But let's have a look at the ratio to ETH. The ratio to ETH at the moment. And let's go to the daily chart as well. And we can see that we are rising against Ethereum as well, which is the more important part, right? That really gives you a sign that things are starting to, recover quite a bit more. So that is the chart there. Let's go to log data 2. Is on the daily, and you can see we actually are technically moving above. So we're at 10 zeros, approximately 5,000. We're at 10 zeros, 7,000, and really trying to push higher from here. We are facing, resistance at this level, and it's previously where we had support. So really a break from here is going to be very, very good indeed. Particularly, we could go to 8,400 and then beyond, right? So and then try to lose the zero. Sorry, not the zero. Yeah, try to lose the zero actually, and get up into the 9 zeros, right? So that's a little bit further from here. So yeah, that is where we are. So everything's taking off. And what's the big catalyst at the moment? Well, we've got Torus launching, right? So from Cryptographics, a big PulseChain TitanX crossover influencer as well, who's now a developer and founder now. And of course, he's out there as well. So I'm not the only one that does crossover coverage. Cryptographics does. Brandon, Brandon's not doing a lot of live streaming these days. Oh, he's come back a little bit, hasn't he? So Brandon from Race of Riches is back as Red Riches. In fact, he recently came back a week or two ago, so that's kind of cool. But he's also a developer and crossover influencer as well, covering this. So there we go. We got TitanX on the move. And remember, the buy and burn is pretty huge, right? So let's go have a look at the buy and burn. And of course, let's have a look at the liquid supply. So we're actually coming down. So this is really bullish signs. This is what we were wanting to see. We're now down from 68.6 from yesterday down to just under 68.5. So looks like Torus is making an impact on the TitanX supply. And this is what we want to see. And this could start running away. If Torus starts running away over the next sort of 10, 15 days, even more longer, then this will run down, and this will really push some of the demand for Torus will go onto the market, right? Because it's using ETH and it buys TitanX off the market, and it burns some TitanX as well. So that is starting to contribute to a bit of a move here. So good things. The other thing, of course, we will see if we see people buy the liquid and do anything else with it and any of the other protocols, that will also advance things also. So kind of cool. The value of that at the moment, $14.3 million in liquid. Let's go look at the buy and burn. The buy and burn value at the moment for V1 is a 13.3. So just a million shy of complete coverage. So that's pretty cool. And the payouts, of course, there is the last day payout for the 888 day, and that is currently sitting at $3.3 million for the payout cycle. And DragonX and Helios get a lot of this, right? So particularly DragonX. And DragonX also has a lot a lot of stuff as well. So you can see the general metrics are starting to perk up, right? They're starting to perk up, and that's a good sign. So it looks like maybe Torus could play that catalyst, that lighting the fire, as it were. Let's have a quick look at the TitanX, DragonX ratio 2. DragonX on the move. So we've got, let me go to the daily here. So that's also got a pretty similar pattern, obviously. And we're starting to U up here, right? So we were down at 5 zeros, 1250. We're now double that, right? 5 zeros, 2500. So that's pretty bullish. And looking at the TitanX ratio, right? Because this is DragonX is built on top of TitanX. We can see that chart's even better. It's already had a rally, right? But while everything else wasn't rallying, it already rallied from 6.4 TitanX to 1 DragonX, and it rallied all the way up to 16.4 before a whale came in and started selling bags outright. And of course, then we came down to 10, and now we're back up at 12.2. So looking pretty good on the old ratio. Let's have a look at the weekly on this chart. For DragonX, and of course Eric runs this, right? A very very popular and established developer and influencer, and of course look at that, looking pretty much in the mid space there. Over all these months, these are weekly candles, so looking pretty strong here. is the old DragonX. It really looks like it's about to take off, and we are expecting some new things coming out from Eric from his team as well. So this could really start to ramp up. And of course, Eric's also the founder of Titan Farms as well, one of the big two, if not three, utilities on TitanX ecosystem, right? So you expect this is probably the week where things really start to move up here. All right, so that is the ratio. Looking at some of the others, obviously we're expecting Jake Sharp himself, the founder. We talked about Jack Levin for X1. Well, Jake Sharp, of course, was also a PulseChain influencer who became obviously his own ecosystem and developer for TitanX, and he's the one that genesis that. He's been relatively quiet. He came back probably maybe a month ago, maybe 6 weeks, starting to be a bit more vocal on X. But been working pretty hard after that. After obviously TitanX had really gone down that second wave pretty hard, and he's been back building some big utility, a non-new token, but utility for X28. Now X28 is the omni-chain version of TitanX, right? So it's the token that's going to go. It's going to take TitanX over to other chains. So there's only one supply of TitanX that's on Ethereum, and then you spread it out onto other chains. That's what we mean by omni-chain. And of course, base chain's been the first mover, but we are seeing other chains being picked up by some of the developers in the TitanX ecosystem. So that's pretty bullish. And then, of course, we got Shogun as well. So we're waiting for the Jake Sharp. That's another catalyst for TitanX rising, right, through X28. And, of course, X28 burns the old TitanX, right? So pretty cool. We got Shogun. Shogun coming up. That's obviously waiting for X28 and the whole ecosystem to really moon before Shogun will really get its chance to shine, I think. We've got Hyper, and then we've got Hydra. Now, Hydra has a buy and burn also. Actually, I went a bit fast beyond DragonX because DragonX has a big buy and burn. So we're going to go have a quick look at that. I think it's under the DAO stats. No, it's not. It's under the stats. And yeah, we've got under stats, I'm pretty sure. Maybe it's under the DAO. Maybe the DAO. Let's go back. Error. Where is it? I was hoping I was going to get it straight off the bat, but it didn't happen. Let's see. Is it down here? No. Is it on the homepage? It must be on the homepage. Hashtag. That's the way it goes. Where are you? Where are you? I can't even find the damn thing. What the heck? Let me scroll down here. We've got Hydra, Titan Farms. Where's it gone? For goodness sake? Is it into the amp? I don't know. Let's try the DAO one more time. Vote the error. Oh, here it is here, but it's got an error on it. No wonder. I was wondering what was going on. This is an error there on the balance. I'm not sure what's going on there. But that's got several $1 million in it as well, right? It's got $7 million in there. Kingsway says, when are we going to stop dumping, says Kingsway. I don't know. We're crossing different topics at the moment. So if you're talking about PulseChain, we'll get to that. I did talk about that yesterday. We're going to talk about it again today. Excuse me. And so, yeah, that's where we are there. So Hydra's got a big buy and burn too. We're going to have a look at that. The ratio at the moment is 0.1 to TitanX. TitanX or DragonX. Let me just jump over to the buy and burn. Let's have a look at the stats here. So we're going to Hydra buy and burn. Yeah, so it's got almost $1 million of DragonX in it. So yeah, it's one Hydra 0.1 DragonX at the moment. So it's got back to where it was. It had got sold off to 0.05, but has recovered, and it's got $1 million there for the buy and burn balance. So we get all these turned on together. It'll be quite a dance party, won't it? At the moment, the supply stats, we've got 1.9 million liquid at the moment. 1.9 million liquid, and we've got 1 million in the buy and burn. So there we go. So that is Hydra. So yeah, if you get TitanX buy and burn, DragonX buy and burn, if you get Hydra buy and burn, and then you take also the Helios is going to have their treasury, and they're getting a payout from the TitanX, then you've got all that money there sitting waiting. And of course, as Ethereum goes up, it all gets more valuable, right? So kind of cool. We're expecting stuff from Vault and Stevie D with the old Bitcoin Genie. That's the next project after Torus to launch that we're aware of. That's going to potentially be a big player in the TitanX ecosystem and could help really ignite things there as well, not just for Vault, but for TitanX itself. We're sitting at 14,000 TitanX per one Vault at mint. So that's ticking away. Inferno team, of course, as well. A very, very popular team. And, of course, they're doing a lot of cool stuff. They have been, going cross-chain. We see some of their cross-chain tokens down here. It looks like cross-chain and Phoenix, I think it is. So that's kind of cool. And, of course, lots of different people like the dude and James and all that all going over to base chain as part of the omni-chain strategy, right? So that is ticking away. Also, the first one, of course, to go was Uranus. there, and it's sitting pretty much the same as it was when it first issued at just under 1 to X28. So there we go. Had got up to like 3.5 or something. So it's been obviously sold down from then. It's been around for 156 days. So that's the play there. But of course, we're going to get to the latest and greatest. Torus making a real storm. Look at this price, OMG. And it's looking pretty exciting. So we're going to get into all that. Before we do that, though, let's quickly check out some of the TitanX supply updates from Investor Logic from yesterday. And of course, this is pretty cool. Let's go to, we're going to change view here. Go back to here, I think. And so we've got supply update, things you know. Torus is absorbing massive amounts of TitanX, only 2.5 days in. So obviously we're further than that, about just over 3 days now, 3.25 days. Torus already has close to 1.5 trillion TitanX deposited. So we've got all these different numbers here, and we've got Ethereum pushing. And of course, this was a TitanX update about the supply. Total supply after all burns is estimated is at 23 trillion. Well, of course, we saw the fact that, we've got 68 trillion in play. So if you take all the burns in account, it could get us down as low as 23. So we're going to keep watching this number, right, as we move forward in time to get that towards zero, I guess, or close to it. That is the play. But we're going to check out Torus. And this is Torus, right? So we're going to go to the stats. So the yield at the moment, 9,500 for a max period, 88 days. That's to create Torus. And of course, the stake Torus, 5,851%. So everyone generally, most people are creating Torus, and of course some people are buying off the market and they are staking Torus, and of course they're going to get shares in kind. So let's go have a look at the buy and burn. It is really getting juicy here. So the price of Torus right now is $6.78. So doing pretty well is the old price. So let's pull up the price chart of Torus and think we might go back to the other chart for this. So this is the Torus price here. Look at that, pretty cool. And we're up at $6.78 right now. We did have a little sell-off about 5-6 hours ago at $6.35, but we're on the move here, $6.78. And I did say that I thought the price would probably be quite good over the next 2.5 weeks. And so it is so far, playing out that way. A lot of the early sniper bots have sold out. There are 1 or 2 accounts with decent little holding. 1,000, 1,500, I think is the top one on the holder list. But apart from that, it does look pretty good, and not a lot of inflation is coming out. So in the short term, so yeah, there's a real good chance for the price to rise. The one thing we have seen though is people staking. That is way above expectations. So not sure what quite's driving that, but that is definitely the play. And yeah, it's on the way up. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. But before we do that, let's get to the buy and burn. We got 25,000 in the buy Torus with ETH. So that's an ETH there. We got $110,000 worth of TitanX, 530 billion TitanX. So over $500 billion TitanX sitting in the buy Torus with TitanX. So a lot of buy power there sitting there now. It continues to go up, right? So we're at $136,000 now, $136,000 just on that buy and burn. Moving to the buy and build. We've got the buy and build there is, so this is the one that builds up liquidity when we're saying build, right? Buy Torus with ETH, we've got $15,300 on that. We've got buy Torus with TitanX, we've got 444 billion TitanX in there as well. So actually, if you add those two together, we're getting very close to 1 trillion in those two pools alone to buy Torus there. So that's really fattening things up. There's another $108,000 in there. So you add them all together, and it's very, very cool. The fractal, this is something that's going to trigger off in 110 days. So max period is from creating is 88 days. This is going to happen after that. And we've got Ethereum of $9,800 in there at the moment, and we've got a TitanX balance of 59,000. So this is going to keep building every day as people go into the protocol. And I think we are starting to see more influencers covering it. And so we're seeing more people go into it. So it really is starting to grow now. I think I heard that Trayvon has covered it in his private sort of strategy group as well. So got big influencers like that now covering it too. So it's just got that slow creep, and it's just a little bit more excitement. Obviously, with the more bullish environment, with Bitcoin so high, with the markets turning a little bit, there's just that little bit more fever getting back into TitanX via Torus, right? So this is a very, very cool. And of course, the Ethereum balance there looking pretty nicely there. So we're looking at $70,000 sitting in there. So we're heading up towards, I guess, 300, is it? $300,000, and that's going to get blown past, I think. And we're only on we just started day 4, so we're only been around for 3 days and 6 hours and 40 minutes. This is really going well on this, and we're almost up to $300,000 from the looks of it in the protocol. So yeah, I don't know, maybe by the end of the week, maybe within 10 days, well over $1 million captured in the buy and burn and then all this stuff. And really starting to move up from there, right? So, and if we do get a runaway in the protocol use, if that does occur, then we could end up with multi-million dollars in the buy and burn, right? And so that happens very quickly if we do get a run on the protocol, like we saw with TitanX when it first came out, sort of thing. Some people find out a bit later, and by the end of the week they start to really tick it up there for at least a week or two or more. We will see how it all plays out, but so far very, very strong. So that is that. Let's have a look at the stats. We got 677,000 in the payout pool every day. And of course, it's based on the price, and we saw the price is doing pretty well. There's not a lot of sell side pressure, and of course, haven't got a lot of minting on these days, so it holds up well, right? And we've got people buying and staking, which is not you really want to create, right? You want to go in here and create your Torus, and so that's the play at the moment on the stats. So what we got there, 23% is staked, so really, really strong. And we've got 75% liquid. Now, that liquid's not really liquid, is it? Because it's in LP pools and other stuff. So actually, the Torus supply is 19,777,000. Sorry, 19. So what did I say? 90 million. 19,777. That's very different. Oh, my bad. 19,777 as Torus is in existence. Stuff at 20,000. Remember, and of course, presumably. This reflects new mints as well. So that was kind of what I was asking Crypto Graphics yesterday. We got burnt Torus is 283 has been burnt so far, and that is equal to this amount here, which is 283. We don't yet have a percentage on there, I don't think, but they'll show up soon, I guess. And then we have stake Torus, 4,542 stake Torus. Which is 30,569. So presumably this includes some early mints, presumably, unless people have sold them into the price, which would have been at a loss, right? So you'd be better off putting them into the staking after doing that if you did that. And so yeah, and we now have, this is probably the most important number here, 1.17 billion shares. So keep a lookout for this. This is really signify the growth of the reward pool. So that shares there is what matters to you if you're creating or staking, because it's a share of this reward pool every day. This is the number every day, and of course based on these, it's based on the price and the Torus payout. Now remember, the Torus payout on day 1 was 100,000, and on day 4 it's now at 900. It's at 99,760, and it's going down by 0.08% a day. And of course, when the base gets lower, right, it gets a lower decrease every day on that basis. So there he is. And of course, the price sitting up at $6.73. How high is the price going to go over the next week or so at this current trend? The trend is your friend, and the trend has got staking happening. People are buying and actually staking, which is not the effective way to do it. You want to just go to create, right? And that's the better way. So yeah, some pretty crazy stuff. But maybe there's a bit of a speculation on the price, buying on the price as well, given the lack of supply. So that's Torus at the moment, and so you can find all the details here on TitanX Hub. I'll post the link to that. And that is, I don't know what happened there, but let me just jump away from there. Let's post that. I'm going to copy, and that is the TitanX Hub if you want to get access to all these details. There we go. Wookie says, love the Torus. Torus for the win, says Brennan. So we've got a lot of people that like Torus in the chat there. That is the link, TitanX Hub. Bam, bam, bam. All right, let's jump over to the future. So we're going to have a quick look at the Torus win site. And of course, this is from Mike Dean as well. And we can see that he's saying that it's 397, almost 398,000. This is 2 hours old too, so it's probably gone up since then. It's probably over 400K. But it says $398,000 has gone in here in TitanX and ETH so far. And we're only on day 4, 6 hours into it. So, it's doing pretty well. 21 ETH has been deposited so far. And this is the number we're looking to really rally. If this starts taking off, this ETH number should really start ramping up big time, right? So we'll keep a lookout for that. 1.6 trillion TitanX. Woo! Now, we talked about, could they do 10 trillion? Could Torus do 10 trillion? And would that reignite the whole TitanX ecosystem, right? So would it reignite everything here with the old TitanX, of course? And we do start to see this little teasers of it at the moment. Obviously, that liquid volumes come down, but if we start getting a runaway use of Torus, will that start to reignite everything else in here, including, of course, the tank farms. All right, now we got that at 2 cents at the moment, and of course Ouroboros as well. That probably not quite yet, right? But it will slowly creep up on those, and that could be a potential if Torus runs away, right? Very excited there. And of course, we'll talk about what could be next. So yeah, there is currently just under 9 million max Torus in future supplies is over the next sort of 92 days. So that is, and that's going to get redistributed, right? So at the moment, the current structure of that, if you look at cumulative future supply, it looks like this. So sort of just slowly accumulating. But look at the interesting number here. So let's get out where the numbers actually jump. So we don't really jump until day 28, 29, right? So if we're on day 4, that'd be like 24 days from now. If you're going to create something, you'd be able to get into the beginning of this, and then it starts ramping up to like 2,800, 4,000. That's when we might see some price pressure come in particular. So that's when we might see some on the chart. And of course, if the price has gone up too far, then we may see some of these guys selling at a profit, right? So if the mining period's like a break even at 20 days, let's say, maybe 18 days, 90 days now, then obviously anyone longer that 19 days, especially ones that got in and did a short miner for that many 30 days or whatever, 28 days, 27 days, they would probably be in the money quite a bit, and so therefore they might make a 2x or 3x. Is definitely possible, definitely in that sort of range, and that's when we might see some sell pressure, right? That's going to play, and then of course we start ramping up from there. So by the time we get up to 10,000 extra supply, which would be kind of double, we started with 20,000, right, in the L people thing, or at least the supply, and we've got to get another 10,000 in the market. It will take 35 days after start, right? So this is day 1 out down here. So 30 it would take you to get to 10,000, which would be a doubling. A 50% increase would be 35 days, and then we'll just keep scrolling along here. By the time we get to 20,000, it's 46 days, right? Which would be a doubling essentially of what the initial Torus was that we've been playing with. So that would be there. Obviously, we're going to have burning, ticking up as we go, and people staking as well. So we do get supply sinks from there, and that will no doubt happen with the supply. But that will certainly, increase potentially the price and influential price. But of course, we get so many people coming in, it may not matter, right? So we'll just absorb all that supply. So by the time we get, up to, I guess, 50,000, let's go to 60. That's 3 times. We're now 60. We're now 55 days into the protocol, right? Before we get like a tripling of the initial supply. And of course, it will depend on staking and new people coming in, how much impact this has. But I suggest to you that will probably a good chance of it being absorbed. By the time we get to 100,000, looks like at the moment we're up to 60 days. Or 100. What did I say? 100,000. Yeah, 60 days. Let's say to get to 100,000. And so that's going to be pretty interesting when we start seeing this sort of numbers where we go from 20,000 initial supply. Now we've got 100,000, but we just how much people stake, how much people buy off market to stake, all those sort of questions have to be answered. And then by the time we start moving forward, by the time we get today at the moment, this is just at the moment, because obviously more people come in, this whole profile is going to change around a lot. Because it's going to get distributed, those daily rewards, there's 100,000, just under 100,000, it's going to get lower and lower every day. And of course, there's going to be distributed to more and more people, right? So just remember that. So these numbers will change quite a bit from that point of view. So at the moment, though, 74 days until we get about 250,000 new tokens. Remember, we start off with 20 and so forth. And by the time we get to our first million, at the moment, looks like we're about 80 days in. So 80 days to around the world while we get to a million there. So that's a pretty big factor. So yeah, that's to a million, and then of course that what's a million 50x supply or something like that, 50x. Then we get by the time we get to day 88, we're at 2.5, and then obviously we've got these big candles. By the time we get to the last day at the moment, which is 92. Remember, 88 days is the max, and we've been around for 4 days, just the beginning of 4 days. That'll get us to that 9 million mark cumulative supply. So interesting stuff. That's all going to get redistributed amongst more people, because as more people come in, they have to get their shares, right? And the shares will reallocate all those tokens every day in the future. So you lock in what you get today with the current share ratio, your share percentage. But as more people come in, that share gets diluted, and of course the tokens get allocated to more and more people. So pretty interesting there. All right, so that is kind of the play there. There's obviously lots of cool stuff on the June dashboard. I'll post a link to this as well in the chat there in case you guys, if you are participating, you can check that out. Let's have a look here. That is the link. Brennan says if TitanX ecosystem starts burning closer to that 60 days, could absorb a lot of sell pressure plus retail buying into it. Yeah, that's true. So with the buy and burn can be ramped up to 10%. It's currently at 1% with about 144 buys per day. It's going at 10 minutes every 10-minute intervals. So obviously that burnt that with all that money coming, we already said we're almost up to 300,000, I think. As that gets bigger and bigger, that can absorb some of these extra supply, and of course with more people coming and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's a lot of variables to anticipate, but more supply, typically means it's be offset through staking and other means, right? So that is the play. So yeah, Torus staking data, you can see it all there on that. I think that's all we're going to go through, is it? I think so. We've got daily position unlock count. You can see that we're, not too bad. Got a few little candles here. It's not really, until we get to day 86, then we start to climb up a little bit. These are the actual number of locked creations and stakes at the moment. Gives you the breakdown. So very important, good for your strategizing, right? For your strategizing. But Torus definitely, rewards longer players, right? Now the other big project we've got coming in, so we're going to keep looking at Torus. Could be the one that really lights the fuse for TitanX. Is the other one, of course, is a Bitcoin genie coming from Stevie D, and no doubt he's just been waiting for the markets to turn up, right? So we'll be keeping a lookout for Genie as well. That's the other big one that may really light the fire here for the old TitanX and get things really moving. So kind of cool. Now, if you want to find out more details, get into our strategy club. Link is in the video description. Like I say, only $35 a month. Really great value. Join up today. We'll see you there. All right. Thanks for those comments, Brennan. Very, very interesting. All right, we're going to get into PulseChain. Before we do that, let's see if we've got any more comments. We're going to get PulseChain. How we're doing for time? I've got to keep tight here. I got another 9 minutes to get through PulseChain. Torus also had one of the lowest token supplies in the ecosystem. Yeah, that is true. So that's a very, very important for pump mentals. I'm very excited about where it will be going. It is really quite different from other protocols that we've seen. So it's going to be fun to see those supply-demand differences play out. It's a broad statement, but it's what we're just waiting to see. All right, so let's get the PulseChain. Day 794. We've still got, obviously, our Hex whale. It was PulseX whale. It was at Wallet 132, I think it is. And we've got price down 3.9%. The rest of the market is kind of moving higher. And Pulse there sitting weakening. Now, we are expecting Pulse to be vulnerable for at least the next week or two because of this whale. I haven't seen an update overnight, but that is what we're expecting. PulseX there, contribute 0212, down 5.35%. The buy and burn sitting at 7.39%. Obviously, the cheaper PulseX to some degree. We got some burning going. And now we've got Incentive token, $1.47. It's down 8.75%. We're sitting at $1.47 there. And, of course, we've got Hex, which is the one that's really been under pressure from the whale selling out of their PulseChain position. It's down 5.3%. And that is sitting at half a penny right now. EHEX at 1,600 a penny. So EHEX was kind of holding up, but it has had to capitulate as well. And I think the whale had been selling like 50 million lots, I think, overnight, and maybe even a bit higher. But they've still got a little bit left to go. In fact, I think I do have the whale account, so we might have a look for that. Shall we have a look for that? Let me see if I can find that. I think I may have saved it. I'm just not 100% sure. No, I don't see that here. Let me just see if I've saved it on the account. Let me have a look. Let's look here. Let me have a look. Let's see if I've saved it. I don't see it here. I've made all these other things here, but that's why I'm so far behind. Let me have a look down here. Actually, let's just do it the easy way. All right, so let me just jump over here. We're going to have a look at the easy way on the whale, so we'll come back to that. All right, so let's go to the gas prices. And we got the gas at 1.25 million beats right now. 1 cent for a PulseX swap, so pretty cheap. And Vela is there at the moment, 52,000, so we're a bit up a little bit, increased a little bit from yesterday. And the bridge, of course, I haven't got the bridge data today. I'll try and get that tomorrow. but we're at 86.6 million, so we're down a little bit here on the old bridge. And so I'll try and give you guys the update tomorrow. I'm going to do a full update of the bridge data. So that is where we are at the moment, 86.6 million. At least we're not, falling. We have been slowly rising back today. I think it's pulled back a little bit. Obviously, we've got the whale still selling out the hex position, right? So that's the way it goes. Moving over to the top performers on PulseChain at the moment, $15.9 million. So we're down about $2 million, I think, from yesterday. So 15.9 million. And the transactions around 281,000. We haven't got a lot of big movers today, but we've got Pepe at the moment, up 20%. Pepe token, been around for 5 months pretty much. We've got Axis Alive on a move. That's kind of cool to see Axis Alive, another PulseChain influencer out there. Does a lot of TA, technical analysis things, and has the old Axis index with several other influencers like Firewhale, the big public whale, Crispy Man. So that's kind of cool, sitting up 8.6% at $1.28. And then we've got Source Unminimum, one of my Magnificent Seven, the big corporate on PulseChain, and that is actually holding up pretty well, which is nice to see. We don't see haven't seen a lot of buy and burns come into it, but they're very intermittent, very, very widely dispersed, but up 3.4%. So really, they've got millions and millions of dollars sitting in that buy treasury, but we haven't seen that activated. And I think part of it is because of Floyn is coming, Floyn listing, and we're expecting that within a few weeks. I don't obviously know the exact days, but a couple of weeks was within a couple of weeks was the indication there from the Sun Minimal CEO Wolfgang, right? So we are expecting that Floyn listing. Floyn listing may be extremely good because I think I just got to go back and listen, but I think it's I think there's about 12,000 or something like that of high value clients on Floyn that use the Floyn market and app. And so just getting a fraction of that could be very, very good for the Sol token chart. And maybe some big investors in there too. So that could be pretty exciting, right? So anyway, we looks like we've got a bit of a pump overnight too on the old chart. So let's have a look at that on the old Sol Sun Minimum. Yeah, we did. So we actually got a buy and burn. This is the corporate buy and burn. So let's have a look at let's do greater than 2,500. That'll give us a big chance here. So over the last day, so we did have a corporate buy and burn. This is the one here. So typically they do about $11,000 every time. Occasionally they'll do a double buy. So we have seen 22,000 buy, but they do it in two separate lots, about an hour and apart. And they use the ramp now, right? Previously they used to do it by themselves, but now they use ramp now. So basically ramp now pulls over the liquidity so they can fund immediate purchases, right? So they're coming over the bridge that way. Now, Liberty Finance also uses the official PulseChain bridge. So all the capital is coming over through their bridge. They just set up liquidity pools to do the instant settlement. So they have to anticipate, the amount that they need. So generally speaking, and so we get multiple bridgings of USDC coming over the bridge, right? And now I think we also probably getting a USD tether from Liberty Finance as well, since they're offering USD tether now. And they're going to be offering DAI and other stuff. So there's probably a lot more stuff in that space. So yeah, pretty cool. We saw that, but we also saw a pretty decent buy coming in as well. Another one for 10,000. I don't know. This may very well not be the corporate, maybe something else. But that came in as well and has actually defended the price. Right when the market's down, it's defended the price. And we can see that volume come in, and it has pushed the price up, right? So that's very cool to see that. And the price was getting down low. This is on the hourly chart, by the way, was down at 7.2 cents, is now rallied. When it got pumped to almost 7.6, is now at 7.4. So we'll keep a lookout for that. But really that buy and burn and any large individual buys are definitely helping keeping that chart up on the old source on manual. But like I said, they got millions of dollars. I think they may have somewhere in the 8 million, 9 million US dollar mark in terms of the fund sitting aside there. So yeah, that is the play. So we'll keep a lookout for that. That's pretty green. Let me get it back out of here. So that is Source Sun Minimum. And then we've got RSI up 3%, oversold. We've got Jupiter up 2.8%, liquid loans token up almost 1%, Phoenix up 0.5%, and UFO up slightly 0.4% as well. Everything else is in the red. Everything else. So that's going to make it easy for me to run the show because that's out of the money. So that is pretty much it. But we're going to have a look at PulseChain. So let's go do that to be our final topic. I want to keep it with an hour today because we've got lots of things on today. So let me jump over to the Richard Hart tokens, and we're going to have a look at the two hexes. Let's have a look at the two hexes and see what's going on there. Now, I've got the hex. I've got hex on PulseChain, so that may not be the right one to have. But let's have a look at the charts. And let's have a look at the sellers here. It's no, probably greater than 10,000. Have we got our wallet? So this is our wallet that we're looking for, which is wallet 132, but we don't see large sales over 10,000 in the last 24 hours. So that's interesting. We do have this account here from the 00. That looks like some sort of trader's account. That is $55,000. And then we had a couple of decent buys in the last day, 2313 from two different accounts, and they're all both new from the looks of it. And then we had a 37,000 sell. So, you know, Hex there at the moment holding just at half a penny under a bit of pressure there, though. So that is everything greater than 10. Should we do everything greater than 5? Let's do that. Yeah, so we have had a few little sells in the mix there, greater than 5 grand, and then a couple of buys just recently in the last 4 hours or so. So that is kind of it on the old PHEX. So far, should we go to the? Let me go to the other one there. It was yesterday, wasn't it? So let me go to 132, and we're going to have a look at that wallet. Let's see whether we can see what Hex is in that wallet. Let's actually copy that, and let's go to Frankable, shall we? Paste it on, bam. All right. So we track. Let's see what it looks like here. So it's still sitting on 36 billion pulse, $1.5 million, including Hex stakes. So yeah, still 36 billion pulse. Looks like it's only got 98,000 Hex left, so that's still 490k. So that will probably be sold out because it's been pretty consistent in selling out in a reasonably short time. And I think this is the daughter account, so I can't remember where the parent account is. So I have to come back on there. But that is just on PulseChain, right? So yeah, and also apparently has it on ETH chain as well. So that is a key part there from the dumper whale. The Hex on the Ethereum. Now I don't know whether we got this Hex on PulseChain. This Hex eHex, but it's on PulseChain. Let's look for 5k sales there. I don't see the wallet selling on this pair here. So it may very well be on the ETH side. So we're going to have a look there. Let's take the old Hex price there and then go over and find the ETH pair on Ethereum side. And let's see where that is. I think that one there. So let's have a look. I think we've got the same one, have we? So we're sitting at 1,600 from a penny. Doesn't appear that we've got that wallet over there. Let's see what we've had overnight. So 7,000. Yeah, so we haven't really had that wallet hit that amount hit over there. We don't really see the volume. We had a couple bit of volume back here at 7 o'clock. So that was probably the sale. Let me have a look. But go a bit lower. Let's go 2.5k. Last 7. Yeah, so not too much. A couple of sellers in here, but doesn't appear to be the same wallet. So yeah, maybe it's just holding on over there. All right. Let's go to Etherscan, shall we? Let's be real nosy today. Let's go to Etherscan and pull that up. See if we can pull that wallet up and see what it's got on the old ETH side. So it does have 36 million Hex over there, which is 60,000. And it's got 28,000 in US dollars for the Pulse Hex dumper. No, sorry, this is the Hex contract. I pulled up the wrong one again. Where do we find it? Yeah, let's go pull that up again. And let's have a look here. All right, so yeah, it doesn't appear to have much in there at all, actually, on the ETH side. So that's interesting. So obviously, it does switch it all out to other wallets. So 6 days ago, 5 days ago. So they haven't had a lot of action over there at the moment on that wallet. All right, so that's pretty much it. Hex holding up. We'll keep a lookout for that, I guess. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. That's an hour and 5 minutes. I've got my little boy haircut today. I need to get a haircut, but hey, it's just the way it goes. We got what is happening with Nexion. Tara says, well, Nexion is coming out with some incredible protocols. We've got Glow coming, and we've got the Hex staking out. These are going to be really great for PulseChain. At the moment, of course, we also see some cool pools happening, fattening up on the old PulseChain. So on Nexion, which is I think Crypto Bro and Radon and Greed and Marty, all those tokens over there doing very well I think even Pulse Bitcoin on there now. So yeah, lots of cool stuff happening with the old Nexian. That's going to be a pretty big, I think, farm ecosystem that we're going to be talking about in the months ahead. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Take care, everybody. I'll catch you on the next one, I think. Until next time, don't forget to follow and subscribe. And just keep DCAing, accumulating. The bull market is upon us, and I guess it's only going to be up and away from here. Let's see what happens with this whale over the next week. So still got to sell its pulse down. So we got the pulse effect. So there's probably still going to be quite a big decent deals in the week ahead. So keep a lookout for the whale or 132 wallet. There it is. All right. Take care, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. And Brent Sense, see you super. Hey, bye for now.